Hey guys, Lauren here with BizRock. In today's video, I want to share with you the importance of a morning huddle. Now, over the years, after working with 700 to 800 practices, I know the importance of a morning huddle, and what I would tell you is about half of the practices that we've worked with over the years do the huddle, and the other half don't. So in today's video, I want to talk about really just the purpose, because I think if you understand why you should do a huddle, then you're more likely to do it. We're very purpose-driven at BizRock. Everything should have a why and a reason behind it. So first off, what's the purpose of a morning huddle? Like, why start our day in that huddle time? Well, really, it sets you up for success. The purpose of the morning huddle is to win today. We're big on, setting your team up for success and getting everybody on the same page. You guys spend a lot of time with each other. And so if you just focus on coming in and going straight to work, then you're going to miss out on that opportunity to be proactive and prepare and bring the whole team together as one. So first off, you want to win the day. And how do you win your day? You do a morning huddle. So that's step one, right? You actually have to have the huddle. Now, this doesn't need to be a 30-minute meeting. It should be about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the size of your practice. So the next question we always get is, well, Lauren, okay, fine, we've started doing the morning huddle, but what do we even talk about? What's the agenda? Does it change every day? Is it the same? I don't know about you guys, but I like consistency. I think having a structured agenda to follow every single day will create the team to be proactive, but it also allows everybody to know what is to be expected of them and how they should show up. So we follow the same agenda, but the first thing that we start with, and I want practices to ever skip this step, is starting out on a positive, whether that is a personal, professional win or a team shout out. Guys, you spend so much time with each other and you're running around and you're flipping rooms and you're going from patient to patient and the front to the back and the back to the front. Start out on a positive. Start out being human for a second before you jump right into your patients. And so I always encourage my teams to start out just sharing a personal or professional win. You might say, my kids started back school last week and they loved it so far. Or it's my husband and I's, it's our 20th anniversary this month. Anything. It can just be any sort of positive win. Or my favorite is the team shout out. Brag on each other. Give people acknowledgement. So if I'm up and I'm trying to give a shout out for my team members and I want them to continue to do great things, you have to reinforce it. Well, team shout out might be, hey, Susie, hygienist, just thanks so much for jumping in and flipping my room yesterday. I know you didn't have to do that, but I really appreciated you stepping up and handling that for me so that I could get back to schedule and be back on time. Guys, you spend so much time in the office. You spend so much time with each other. Don't miss that opportunity to brag, acknowledge, or start your day on a positive note. So that's step one, is to start with that positive victory to begin that huddle. The second step that is covered in your morning huddle is a team news, is what we always call it. So team news might be, hey guys, just a heads up, friendly reminder that I'm leaving the office today a little early, so I have to be out the door at 3 o'clock. My son has whatever this afternoon. He's got a doctor's appointment. Something to let your team know what's going on if it impacts them. Sometimes we all have life happen, and as much as we talk about front stage and showing up to the office with your game face on, ready to take on the day, sometimes there's things outside of your realm, and sometimes we walk in and it's like, gosh, I'm off today, or my great-grandmother is in the hospital and maybe I'm having a bad day. Acknowledge that, share that with your team. One of the best things that you could do in the morning huddle is say, hey guys, just to give you a heads up, if I seem a little off today, or if you see me checking my phone multiple times today, I'm waiting for an important call regarding my great-grandmother. She's in the hospital, and I just want to let you know that I'm a little distracted today. I could really use the extra support. The great thing about going through that exercise as a team is, one, we're all human. We all have life that happens outside of the practice, but also it allows your team to give you the support that you need. Instead of what typically happens in a practice is that team member's distracted and they're checking their phone and they're running back and forth to the break room. They seem a little distant and the rest of the team's like, well, gosh, what's her problem today, right? Sound familiar? So don't skip that step. Take a second and just say if there's something going on that the rest of the team needs to know about. It's super duper important. The next thing on your agenda is the patient updates. So for the patient update section, every clinician is responsible for their column of patients. Now, I know some offices, the assistants kind of tag team and they'll jump into multiple columns of patients, and so they don't have a true set column of patients, but I would encourage you to try to do that in your office, or at a minimum, be assigned the day before which patients you'll be helping your doctor with. That way you can be proactive and better serve those patients that day of. So let's say I'm the hygienist. I would pull my column of patients for the day before the morning huddle starts, and I would review their chart notes. I would review their notes from the last time they were in, but also just any important medical factors that maybe the team needs to be aware of. So whenever it comes to me, I will say, hey guys, I've got my 10 o'clock patient should have pre-med before they show up today. So Susie, check in, make sure that Mrs. Jones pre-medded before she showed up to the office today, because she's got to have that before I can take her back. Or, hey doc, my 11 o'clock patient has some outstanding treatment. I'll make sure that I talk to her about it again before you come in, but you might want to revisit and look at a possible crown on number 8 and 9 today. Whatever the patient has going on, it's your job, it's your opportunity to communicate to the rest of the team and the doctor, so just so they have an idea of what they're going to be walking into. That way that sets them up for success. So that's really the patient updates. The next section in the agenda is projects or issues. Hopefully you've got some awesome projects that are moving as a team. A project might be, we're dropping an insurance provider. We're prepping for a patient appreciation day. We're switching out our scrub color. That's a project, right? Anything that is going on in the office that maybe the team needs to know about. I'm not saying talk about this every single morning huddle, but if there's an update, this is the time to do it. So you might say, hey team, friendly reminder, our patient appreciation day is less than a week away. We've got 200 and plus RSVPs, so we really need some extra volunteers that day. Or friendly reminder, guys, we are switching out our scrub colors. I still need these 2 people's sizes by the end of the day. Otherwise, I'm going to pick your size for you. So I really need that information before the end of the day. Anything that's going on, that's your opportunity to share that and talk about it as a team. And if you notice in this section, I also said projects and issues. So if there's issues from the day before, there's no such thing as a failure. Every opportunity that we interact with a patient or with another team member is an opportunity to learn and grow. And so an issue example might be, hey guys, this patient came in yesterday. We dropped the ball and here's what happened. Here's how the doctor and I decided to overcome it. Hopefully that never happens again, but if it does, if this issue ever arises, here's how we handle it again in the future. Again, it's a growing opportunity. It's a learning opportunity so that we can continue to grow and learn together, because the best practices, the best team members are constantly growing and saying, how do we get better? How do we learn from this? So that's where you talk about that. The last couple steps in the morning huddle agenda are KPIs, which stands for Key Performance Indicators. Now, every practice is different. Some of our practices love talking about numbers in the morning huddle. Other practices avoid talking about numbers. So I leave this up to your owning doctor. But if you are a practice who you like to talk about important KPIs to start your day, by all means go for it. Our personal favorite KPI is patients served. So saying, okay, guys, we get to serve this many patients today. This many are new and this many are recall, but at the end of the day, we're serving this many patients. That's a really powerful statistic to share with your team and to really just celebrate as an organization. For some of you, you might look at what's our daily goal. And to start in the morning huddle, you might say our daily goal is 10,000. So our daily goal is 10,000. Scheduled for the day is 8,500. Let's see if we can get another 1,500 before the end of the day. Just something. If that's important to you in your practice, then that's where I would share that information. And last but certainly not least, as you wrap up your morning huddle, again, this should be about 10 to 15 minutes long. And the more you practice it and the more you follow an agenda, the faster it will become. You'll become very fluid with it and become very comfortable. So the last part in your morning huddle, which I never want you to skip or forget, is emergency times. Guys, I know that you have emergency patients that call the office, and this is what typically happens. The emergency patient calls the office, somebody answers the phone, there's nowhere to put the patients. So what do? We put that patient on hold, And then we run to the back and we're like, hey, doctor, where can I put this emergency patient? Or hey, assistant, where can I put this patient? And there's this interruption of the team serving other patients. And then we're rushing to the back to go tell the patient that's been on hold, like, hey, we can see you this afternoon at 3:00. And then that patient's like, well, I can't make it today. And so it's this awkward exchange of, we've put the patient on hold, which that's one of our rules, like you never put patients on hold. So we've put a patient on hold, then we're interrupting the doctor and assistant about taking them away from serving their patient. And so it's just this horrible exchange. I don't want you to do that. I know it happens in the office, but today is a new day, right? So instead, in the morning huddle, that is your opportunity to say, okay, guys, we have a full schedule of patients. There's nowhere else we could put anyone but doc. In case an emergency calls our office today, where can we put them? And if it were me, I would look at today's schedule and I would look at tomorrow's schedule. Now, if it's the end of your week, maybe it's a Thursday or a Friday, so it's the end of your work week, look at Monday. Doc, if an emergency calls, where can I put them today and where can I put them Monday? Whatever works for you in your practice, but don't miss that opportunity to be proactive. And then when that emergency patient calls your office, suddenly they feel cared for, they feel appreciated, and we're not putting them on hold. Guys, we have the opportunity to be exceptional as a team, and that starts as a team coming together to start your day on the right foot and really having a great and powerful morning huddle. The last thing I'm going to wrap up with, sometimes what happens in a dental office is we run promos. Maybe we have an internal promo. We've got a clear aligner special for the month of, let's call it September, and somebody's out on vacation. They come back from vacation, and 2 weeks back from the office, they're like, wait, when did we start running this special aligners promo? And everyone kind of looks around and thinks, and they're like, oh, you were out of town whenever we announced that we were doing this special promo. And so sometimes there's a loss of communication internally within the practice. So as much as I don't love paper, I do like utilizing paper for the morning huddle. If you go to bizrock.com, you can request a morning huddle template. We have those for you. So please go there, reach out to our team, and we can send you over this morning huddle template. But what I love doing with this template is actually printing it out. Now, those of you who are paper savers, print it and laminate it and reuse it over and over again. But write on the morning huddle and put a note, like any specials that you have going on that day. So there might be a note section of a liner special for the month of September, $500 off, or this dental supplier, this dental lab is coming to do a lunch and learn on this topic. Anything that's pertinent that the whole team needs to be aware of, put it on your morning huddle sheet. Then when your team is out of town or life happens and they're sick or they're just not working that day and they come back to the office, they can flip through that morning huddle book, because it should be like a binder. It should be a binder with all the morning huddle pages. They can quickly flip through that book and see what they missed while they were gone. It's a really great way and a very easy way to create internal communication. Really just make sure the entire team is on the same page. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you haven't done a morning huddle in the past, I'm going to challenge you. Today's a new day. I want you to implement a morning huddle into your practice. Maybe if you've done a morning huddle in the past and you're like, Lauren, every day it's something different. We don't follow a specific agenda. I want you to start this video over. I want you to go back through and write down that agenda and start implementing it in your practice. Now, the first few times you're going to do it, you're probably going to run over on time. That's okay. It's progress, not perfection. Take small baby steps. Implement the team shout outs and the wins. Get really good at that. Then implement the team news section, then patient updates, then projects and KPIs and emergency times. And see, the more that you do that, the more successful you'll be, because you've set your team up for success and created a positive agenda and a great way to start your day. So we look forward to seeing you and serving you soon.